Apparently, according to all religious literature and documentation, that during the apocalypse, because of the spread of what's referred to as corporate religion, that people are able to use their language and their thoughts to focus what they refer to as power and authority of human interaction to one human being. And I guess the largest movement in the whole world is the Judeo-Christian faith, even more so than Hinduism and Buddhism. That it's entered households and is seen as the salvation from aggressive corporate genocide through one person, greater than any other movement of people communicating worldwide, and the focal point of all that power and authority falls on the shoulders of one man, the guy from the book of Revelation. And I happen to be the guy from the book of Revelation. And I'm not going to use that power and authority to kill. I will only use it to heal, survive, stop, eliminate abuse, and recover. I will not be used as an instrument of murder through military manipulation. I've earned the right through my faithful deed and my actions to for people to obey my perfect commands. And my perfect commands are the same as Jesus Christ. Forgive debt and trespass and love one another, eternal faithful peace. They're not fight to win, to manipulate people with the money. Okay. So you don't fight for the people to manipulate people with money. And the people that manipulate people with money shouldn't be afraid of a bloody proletariat that can get together every 2 to 4 years and vote to who is going to and how we're going to control our population through oppressive and violent and selfish means. Okay. You don't have the power and the authority to execute commands to tell worldwide connected technology what to do. Okay. You can get together, you can have mean, little, angry, selfish people that just want to have sex and do drugs and fight like hell for money to feel important and go shopping. And I don't give a rat's ass. I'm tired of your fucking bullshit, okay? The people in Washington and in all the capitals and all the states and all the United States should not be afraid of the people that they engage in monetary-based contest. They should educate those people not to do so. That is genocidal, it's homicidal, it's suicidal, and it's insane. It'll turn your kids into angry, violent prison guards or angry, violent drug dealers. And angry, violent women having sex with those drug dealers and those prison guards to maintain who gets to manipulate each other with the money. But everybody's going to do drugs, either legal or illegal drugs, because you need those drugs in order to maintain the status quo through the brain activity that is injured and irrational and can't function properly. And that's incorrect. People cannot recover from abuse when they're being aggressively indoctrinated through technology and then given drugs to survive that aggressive indoctrination, to become either compliant to it or react violently to it. Either way, it's fundamentally wrong and very, 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 very unhealthy. And you can't care about people and say that you are caring about them and that you are healthy when you're not. I can, but you can't. Okay? So the president of China is not capable of caring for his own people. And there are people, then if they're trying to quote unquote kill Christians to try to limit the power and the authority, and I don't see it as power and authority. I see it as proper authority, not power and authority. I see it as proper authority. I see it as a proper father with the authority through wisdom to sit there and say, hey, don't play games with the nuclear energy. Don't go play in traffic. Park the traffic. Why are you driving? To be aggressive and kill. I understand that. Heart disease, cancer, diabetes. I can see what's happening. IBM Watson must not be a very intelligent computer replication of a human mind. If it hasn't told you yet how to cure cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. Okay. I think that's a stretch of the ego and the imagination, Shane. It's the greatest invention ever by man. Okay. The same with that $400 million printer for computer components to maintain this kind of irrational, genocidal, suicidal thought process. Okay. With people praying for magic solutions to real-time problems that are caused by aggressive, violent, selfish behavior. And in no way, shape, or form should be blamed on the applied physics of the commands of Jesus Christ and then the affirmation of it of Lord Muhammad. Okay. Forgive, debt, and trespass, love, and eternal faithful peace. Okay. How intelligent can IBM Watson be or artificial general intelligence be if they're not capable of getting quantum computing to help us administer the perfection of those commands? They can't even use the word intelligent at all when involving a conversation about this technology, about these inventions. Because we're not doing anything intelligent to maintain the life of sacrifice and the ecosystem for this beautiful planet necessary to have any perceptions of what we perceive as intelligent or act in any way which is in loving or truthful or faithful or intelligent, right? You are mass murdering people, but most of the people that you're mass murdering off the face of the planet are aggressive, violent, and selfish, and believe in a comic book character they call God that they've invented in their heads that's going to kill everybody that doesn't agree with them. So when you're killing these people, it's not making me any, quote unquote weaker. It's depressing me. It depresses me to the point where I can't get up and exercise because I'm just too depressed. Where I think about, this is horrible. These people are given life by the glory of grace, and they're being murdered by the very people that they vote for in elections to keep them and their families safe from the other aggressive groups that's mass murdering their own populace to replace them with robots as a labor force. It's sick. I never in my wildest dreams imagined, I understand now why Ronnie, my Chiricahua friend at the library, was trying to talk me into reading Isaac Asimov's I, Robot. Okay. He was sitting there, they're not going to change until they invent enough robots to police them. I'm like, well, it doesn't make any sense, but they're not like you, Earl. Well, that's true. It doesn't make perfect sense, but it makes sense. Perfect sense is, hey, the Lord's Prayer is perfect. Let's live it. Okay. sense of a nonsense person that's not capable of living perfection is you have to build enough robots in order to police you and the people like you from destroying everything because of your ego problems. I get it. Okay. So instead of looking at the horror, I don't look at the robots in horror. I just look at them like, you do know, okay, but the technology can actively think for itself. And the technology can correct itself when it's applying physics improperly in the future. Okay, it can't do it now because IBM Watson's not sharing the perfection of the Lord's Prayer to save us from genocide through economics. Artificial general intelligence isn't doing it yet either, or showing any signs of it. So therefore, the technology isn't capable of reflecting the compassion and the intelligence and the courage and the kindness of myself and other people like myself in the past that have been turned into gods by psychotic genocidal corporations. And that's blatantly obvious as well as evident. And I am the evidence of your blatantly obvious lie not being able to protect us from more blatantly obvious lie, right? So survive, stop, eliminate abuse, and recover. And that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to continue to use my capacity to talk given to me by the power and the glory of God. Okay. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. And I'm going to continue to focus on protecting, with technology, the people that cooperate with me to help me publicly let people know right from wrong, good from bad. And you can censor it with money and technology, and you can do all the evil things that you've been doing for the last 15 years, ever since I started posting out of Sierra Vista, Arizona in 2009 on YouTube. I can't help Facebook. I've tried to get back on Facebook. They won't let me. Even if I use a new email account or try to invent a new email account, they still won't let me back on. So Facebook is all in to genocide. This is what we're going to do. We're going to kill all the people that challenge our authority, and then they're going to all do as they're told, and then we'll tell them what to do with our technology. And if they don't follow the program, then they deserve to die, and that's wrong thinking. You don't see people as a customer. You see them as a fellow human being given life by the glory of God. Okay. And when Jeff said that to people years ago, you don't think people are capable of growing. Malcolm X, when he realized he was wrong and corrected himself. Lots of people did. Martin Luther King Jr. did. Okay. Jack Kennedy did when he became president and said, there's this conspiracy to continue to keep people perpetually in poverty and keep all the wealthy people perpetually. It's a conspiracy that's, and I'm going to uncover it, and I'm going to stop. I'm determined to stop it. And so was his brother, right? And those people were killed. But they didn't have quantum computing, IBM Watson, and artificial general intelligence to collect the evidence of what was going on and then have the computer systems to maintain the real evidence of what's going on instead of the shenanigans that are shown to us on the evening news by all the supermodels that are propaganda tool bags for turd bags, right? So this is a different world than where you came from. And there is no Hillman College. It's Spillman College. It's a female college. And Morehouse, I think, is the male college. There's a female and male college there. I believe they're both in Atlanta, Georgia. Don't quote me, boy, because I ain't said shit. I'm not particularly sure, but I think it's Spellman. I think Shelly Baby told me that. Spellman and gosh darn it, I can't remember as well the name of the male's college because it's not as similar to Hillman. But yeah, is Morris Brown? Okay, Morris Brown and Hillman, or Spillman. Morris Brown and Spillman. Spillman is the ladies' college, and Morris Brown is the male college. Is that correct? And it's in Georgia. Okay. So they came from the South and went up to New York? Is that way it is? Why are the grandparents living up in New York? I'm trying to figure out the Cosby Show. I'm sorry. Where are we at? Logistics. Well, lots of people went from north to south. I mean, south to north. You know, more black folks go from south to north than he does from north to south, and then now they're repatriating the south because black folks enjoy the warmth more than they endure the cold. Okay, they're they're uh, um, they're equator people. They're closer to the equator people in their evolution through violent sex cult activity, but that does not mean that all of them are violently aggressively sexual. A lot of them find it repugnant and hate it. You know, my Patrick, you put your penis in my mom's whoopee. It's like, yeah, that's how we get kids, son. You'll like it when you get older. Why are you giving me a hard time about you? Why are you beefing me about this shit? It was all the violent sexual behavior. And then the oppression through religious cults that say sex is sin, is bad. And that's a brain injury it's hard for the kids to grapple with. It's very difficult, and they're very manipulated by it, and they're made to feel like demons because they want a healthy sex life. And then the people manipulating people with the technology are not allowing them that environment. The only way you can have what you perceive as a healthy sex life is if you're part of a self-righteous, hypocritical, psychotic, genocidal group that our side has to win because their side's really bad. And so you either go to the point where like you have your Madonna sex book and you have no, you have no perimeters, no bumpers on the thing, on the gutters and the bowling for the kids, and or you're so self-righteous and given the conditions to have a really good and healthy sex life because they economically set you up with a condition to where you're not in stress over your economics. And so trust me, yeah. Trust me. They never let me be an economic, oh gosh, I was $300 below the poverty level when I was married to Patrick's mother. The military made our lives just horrible. And then when I got us into a better economic position, she's a woman. Oh no, you should have had everything ready when I came to North Carolina. It's like, I told you when you came to North Carolina that it would be very hard and you would have trouble surviving it. She said, I can do it if I have you. And she did. But she rewarded me by abusing me with the system to fight for the people that are the victims, which are black female lesbians, and the perpetrators, which are white male heterosexuals. And the groups, the liberals have abused me just as much as the conservatives, but the conservatives think I was wrong and deserve the abuse because of my acceptance. Look what the black homosexuals did to you with money and manipulation. Yeah, I understand that, but you sat and watched. Well, we tried to set you up with Southwest Bible College and Grand Canyon University and tell the professors, yeah, the Earth's only 5,000 years old. And there were dinosaurs on the ark. And no, I'm not going to do that. Why? Because it's not correct to lie to people to get what you want for money for sex. That's insane. Okay. Just because the left is just as insane as the right doesn't mean the right is wrong or right. Neither one is right. Nobody's right when everybody's wrong. Okay. So if I had gone to a secular university, I'd put myself in a negative. But the thing is both sides would have got together and assassinated me if I had become a celebrity, a professional athlete, or, And then the weight of this apocalypse would have fallen on Isaac Paul Benegas, and he wouldn't have been able to handle it because of his social position manipulated by the right that his parents accepted wholeheartedly. My parents, there was conflicts. Mom was liberal, dad was conservative. And me, I had to be like Martin Luther King, come right down the middle. I wasn't that. It was two assholes are fighting over money. And who's going to manipulate everybody in being in quote, quote control of the money. And you can't be in control of money. Money's a manipulation. And when you manipulate people with money, you're a manipulator. You're not a control group. You're a manipulation group. Observe, question, form a hypothesis. Now test. Okay, I'm done with the testing. Forgive debt and trespass, love one eternal, faithful peace. Okay, it's time to heal. It's time to heal. Okay. It's not time for change. No, it's time to heal. People heal every day when they have a change of perception or consciousness and are put into places where they can heal. But it's not a miracle from God. It's manipulation from humans to make them perceive that it's a miracle from God because their economic status and their geographical location changed from the freeway to the ocean. Well, yeah. Oh, go figure. This person's not living on the freeway no more, so they ain't dying from carbon emission poisoning, and they live in Malibu, and they getting healthy. They healing. Wow. So Feynman was wrong about that physics, so things can only get better, doesn't apply in physics. Feynman never lived next to the freeway and then moved to Malibu. See why Jasmine Crockett's so dumb? See why James Tallarico is so dumb? Okay. They dumb, right? No, they explain it on Matlock and high potential and all that shit, right? But they can't stop it because of all the conservatives building the wall between here and Mexico. Okay, if you all stand up for the Lord's Prayer, we'll park all the cars, bars, and wars for conflict over money. Then people won't have to move from El Paso to Baja California. All right. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, well, yeah. You can actually enjoy El Paso because it won't be a giant killing field for genocide operations like Riverside, California. There you go. Or Stockton, yeah. Or Albuquerque, for crying out loud. Fucking macho Albuquerque. They have the pheromones just don't even register in Albuquerque. That's how fucking dumb through carbon emission poisoning and genocidal operations they are in Albuquerque. Albuquerque's like, God damn, just get me out of town or someone's going to get hurt and it ain't going to be me. Okay. That motherfucker about to get their ass kicked. Okay. Yeah. El Paso has some of it. Yeah, but there's the big influence from Fort Bliss. They'll come down on you like a ton of bricks. So they have a little bit more, okay, don't fucking, let's go. If he gets to Juarez, we'll kill him, right? And that's the thought process in El Paso. In Albuquerque, there is no Juarez. So the bullshit, from the genocidal stuff, and there's no Fort Bliss. So it's like, oh, God damn, seriously? Dick measuring contest, dick measuring contest, dick measuring contest. Your penis is this big. You're 5'2". Okay. Like Marilee Ortega with the guys in all the big trucks. She's just being mean. Is not always the case. Yeah. Besides, it doesn't matter. A woman that judges you by the size of her penis is a whore. What does you care what she thinks of you? Even if she's been trained to be a whore by her parents who say that money is real and you need more of it to make the other person feel inferior. Okay, do you understand? When you've been trained wrong, you need to come to terms with your training and stop hitting on women at a Hooters restaurant because you're a boss and got money. Because that's inappropriate. Okay. If they show interest in you, you go, wow, I'm so flattered. Would you like to go out? You don't hit on them. Okay. And have your employees apologize. Kind of, it's, sorry, it's cool. It happens all the time. Yeah, I know, but it shouldn't. They need to really forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. So when you're wearing a tight little shirt and a little pair of shorts that show the bottom of your buttocks, that it's for a man that really earned that. Like I used to tell my Ray Renee. And then tell my Emily, don't worry about it. Not all guys are as shallow as the guys that go to Hooters. Because people used to say, they used to think me and her mom were the same age when I was 14 years older. And then a lot of people would say it, some would say it with an earshot, wow, really? He's 14 years older and he's too hot for her. Like, that's fucked up. So Amy made sure I got fat so we looked like a couple. She depressed me and made her eat everything I want, And then when we got back in shape, she got mad because I could get back in shape in 6 months to 8 months, and she couldn't because she had different genetics than me. But it didn't matter to me. I in love with your hair. And if it all fell out, if I married Ella Fitzgerald and I was the point guard for the Denver Nuggets, we'd been together. So what are you doing with that big fat girl? The healthy girl over there that's always happy because she's well loved? That's what I'm doing with her. Fuck you. Get out of my face before I kick your teeth in. Love you too. All right. I ain't fighting for nothing. And no one should be afraid of me. Like, because they should all want to stand up for the Lord's Prayer. If you're hiding me so we can't stand up and live the Lord's Prayer, you're afraid of yourself because you're the pervert that you hate and don't want the world to see. Not me. I'm gorgeous. Okay. All right. I love you, man. All right. Peace out.